Hey, can you recall your first day of school as a kindergarten or a first grader? I bet some were happy, scared, excited, sad, or any emotions that you can feel just because it was your first day. Half a Day, a story made by Naguib Mafhouz, an Egyptian writer, the most famous writer of fiction in the Arab, the only Arab writer who won the 1988 Nobel Prize for Literature, regarded as one of the first contemporary writers of Arabic literature. Has published 34 novels, 350 short stories, movie scripts, 5 plays over his 70-year of career. This story, Half a Day, was published on 1989 as a part of a short story collection, The Falls Down in Egypt, which is known for their Giza pyramids, historical places like Aswan and Nubia, the mummification of their own pharaohs or queen and kings, like the mummification of Queen Cleopatra. In the story, Half a Day, it all happened first in school, which is high-walled building, courtyard that full of kids, classroom that full of students learning new things from 1 plus 1 to calculus to learn English and so on. The characters of the story are the father, who's clutching his hands and takes him to school. The boy, who's the main character and the narrator of the story. The young lad who helped the grandpa in the crosswalk. The theme of the story is time is not like a deleted file that can be recovered in a recycle bin. Hindi siya gaya ng isang larawan sa cellphone na pag mabura ay maibabalik pa. Kaya pahalagahan ang oras na meron ka, gamitin ito ng tama at gawing masaya, worth it kumbaga. Huwag madaliin ang oras, minsan lang tayo ganito, minsan lang tayong bata. Iisang buhay lang meron tayo. Kaya naman, live for today and make it worth it for tomorrow. Here is a summary and a short film of Half a Day by Naguib Mahfouz. Please watch.
How could all this have happened in half a day, between morning and sunset? All my clothes were new. The uniform, the shoes. They did not make me happy, however, as this was the day I was to be thrown into school for the first time.
Why school? What have I done? I'm not punishing you. School isn't the place for a punishment.
My father told me that school makes useful men out of boys, but I wasn't convinced. I didn't believe there was any reason to tear me away from my home and throwing me into the huge, high-walled building. Men sorting us into ranks, forming us into an intricate pattern in the great courtyard, surrounded by high buildings. I felt I was a stranger who had lost his way, but then one of them came over and asked, in curiosity,
Who brought you? My father's dead.
I didn't know what to say. Then a man came along and talked to us.
This is your new home. Everything that is enjoyable and beneficial is here. So dry your tears and face life joyfully.
It seemed that my misgivings had no basis. From the first moments, I made many friends and fell in love with many girls. I had never imagined school would have this rich variety of experiences. We played all sorts of games. We also had our first introduction to language. We saw a globe of the earth which revolved and showed the various continents and countries. We started learning numbers and we were told the story of the creator of the universe. Our path, however, wasn't totally sweet and unclouded. We had to be observant and patient. It was not all a matter of playing and fooling around. Rivalries could bring about pain and hatred. The time for changing one's mind was over and gone, and there was no question of ever returning to the paradise of home. Nothing lay ahead of us but exertion, struggle, and perseverance. Those who were able took advantage of the opportunities for success and happiness that presented themselves. It was the end of the day. I said goodbye to friends and sweethearts and passed through the gate. I stepped aside to wait. When I had waited for a long time in vain, I decided to return home on my own. I walked a few steps, then came to startled halt. Good Lord, where was the street lined with gardens? Where had it disappeared to? I was in a daze. My head spun. I almost went crazy. How could all this have happened in half a day between morning and sunset? I would find the answer at home with my father, but where's my home? I hurried towards the crossroads because I remembered that I had to cross the street to reach our house. But the stream of cars wouldn't let me up. Extremely irritated, I wondered when I would be able to cross. I stood there a long time until a young boy came up to me and said, "Grandpa, let me take you across."
So, what can we learn from the story? It reflects the changes in life on how fast time passes by. Just like yesterday we were little kids and today we are teenagers and tomorrow we will be old. Sa buhay kasi, maraming nagbabago na hindi natin namamalayan. Kahit nga sa sariling pagbabago ay din natin nakikita. Habang lumalaki kasi tayo ay nadadagdagan o lumalaki din ang mga responsibilidad na nahahawakan natin. Na minsan noong bata pa tayo ay nasasabi natin na gusto ko nang lumaki para wala nang magbabawal sa akin. Di na ako patutulugin tuwing hapon. At ngayong malaki na tayo, nasasabi pa din natin sa sarili na gusto ko ulit maging bata. Yung walang problema. Patutulugin ka pa tuwing hapon, yung palaging masaya, aktibo. The reason why madalas din natin na-appreciate ang bawat araw. Sa katunayan, lucky tayo kasi we have enough time to do things and be better. Kasi hindi lahat na pagbibigyan. Nowadays, people want, especially teenagers, want to grow up already and be adults. For what? To be free? Teenagers tayo, malaya tayo. Di lang na-appreciate o nakikita kasi may nagbabawal pa o may bawal pa. Once we do reach adulthood, which is a new stage of life, there will be always a time where we say to ourselves na gusto ko maging bata ulit. Kaya naman wag magmadali. Mag-enjoy ka muna kung ano ka ngayon. Cherish every moment and days because time is not something we can get back. Because remember, time always move forward. Hindi na siya babalik.